Greetings, Mind Crafters, and welcome to another Mindcraft discussion on this glorious day. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and Giovanni's walking around the living room with his little squeezy pig toy that might make some snorting sounds. So if you hear some weird noises, that's because he's got a little pig. It's like his little girlfriend. Anyway, all right, so today I really want to talk about knowing your why, your WHY. My inspiration today comes from Simon Sinek. I love that guy. And also, and he fits with what we're already talking about. We've been doing some talking about burnout, right? And it's important to know our why anyway, because this is what drives us and guides us and fulfills us. Though also we're talking about burnout. Burnout is when that spark has been snuffed out. That Y spark, the WHY spark, has been snuffed out temporarily. And it's just so important. Yeah, there goes the pig noises. Do you want anything quiet that down? Okay. So, because we've all got that one thing we're meant to do on this earth, which comes from our core why. And so Simon was talking about his inspiration thing with he inspires people. And the thing is, when we know what our core why is, we naturally become inspiring to other people. So I know for a fact that my purpose for being on this earth is to help people live their very best, most authentic life. So underneath that main one sentence or phrase are bullets like helping people see their value, helping people learn about the advantages of happiness, And that all involves being an educator, right? So I'm an educator on authenticity, which kind of would make me like an authenticator. That's kind of cool. That might be my new title. Anyway, but I know that about myself. I know that I'm put here to educate on like yanking the blanket off the inauthentic, focusing on the real, helping people see their value, that happiness is a choice, that we can rewire the brain, the positivity. It all funnels into that main theme of live your best, most authentic life. So it's really, really important to know your own why. And again, if you're burnt out, we talked about that. We don't want to be the giving tree at the stump level, right? And that is, I think anyone who knows me and knows me through the videos knows that The Giving Tree is my least favorite children's book in the world, because it should be called Codependency for Kids. Why? Because I don't think we really want to, or I don't anyway, want to role model, becoming a stump when that's all you got left to give is, like you're a place to sit for somebody. Not what I want to role model for my own kids, and I didn't. Instead, we want to keep ourselves filled up and over the top so that we are living happy, joyful, just authentically fulfilled lives, and then we have all that overflow to give to other people, right? So burnout is the exact opposite of that. That's basically burnout is the giving tree at the stump level, right? And so if that's happened to you, where you've ceased to care, like that you deep down buried underneath care about, let's say it's your students or your employees, if you're a leader, if you're whatever, but you're not feeling it. You're not feeling it because you're fried. Well, this is a good entry for that spark to come back when you really go out in the woods. If you don't have woods, find a quiet place someplace else. But you really want to get quiet and reflective about, what is my why? What is my core why? What is the passion, fuel that drives me? You got to know what your fuel is, what your why is. What drives me? Because when we're in a place of burnout, which is like right next to depression, right? Because it's basically, the definition wouldn't be that different. With ceasing to, care about, show interest in these things that usually interest you, right? And so that's when we really want to get back to the basics. What underneath it all is my core passion fuel that drives me through life, motivating me to do what I do, loving life, and walking around with my happy bubble absolutely full. It's so important to know that. So that can take deep reflection. And so we talked about this too earlier. If you want to know your next move, we got to first ask. Put it out there to the universe, God, higher power, source, however you want to say, but that divine connection that connects us all. And then next is the allowing part, okay? It sounds counterintuitive, like you just want to, dig your claws in. It's actually the opposite. You want to get quiet After you ask, put the energy out there. Allow, what is my next move? I'm feeling burnt out. What is my why? Okay, and then allow it to come in, which means you will start to notice things and hear things from people. You start to be directed all over the place. And then next, the third step is receiving. This is when stuff really starts to open up. The green lights, as my friend Tom calls them. So does Matt McConaughey, but quite honestly, Tom was talking about it to me first. But it's all good because the inspiration comes from everywhere, and I'm sure Matt McConaughey's book is awesome too. I can't wait to read it. So anyway, green lights, green lights, green lights. And then the next step is to like do it again and keep staying with it, because it doesn't make any sense to keep going through the motions, and we all know what that feels like. Just going through the motions, life is way too short for that stuff, because our life minutes, oh, wait, I have it right here. Hang on, I'm coming. Hold on, Giovanni. This is what I tell my Minecrafters, right? Our life minutes are they're the most precious commodity we have, and you can't really put a label on their value because it's our life. But this is what I do, because this is the closest thing I can think of. So I tell them to spend their life minutes as if they were cash. Spend your life minutes as if they were cash. So if you're burned out, fried beyond imaginability, you don't want to spend one more life minute in that place, because when you're going to want that 10 minutes of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 back when you're 80, 90, 110 doing what you're doing. You're going to want that back, and guess what? You're not getting it. So burnout is just very easy to stay in that place, because it's like kind of like scuba diving. When you go down so far and the nitrogen thing and you get the bend, you don't know which way is up. Scuba divers will blow bubbles to figure out which way is up. I've used that same example with depression, and like we talked about it, burnout and depression are not that different, okay? And life is too short to do that. So we want to get some direction, get acclimated, figure out which way is up and which way is forward, okay? To climb out of that place. And we want to do this by knowing our why, and then starting to pave the way, or just watch the green lights, or this is a better way to say it, to watch the green lights for the direction to follow along your most authentic path, which will pull you out of burnout. If you're not in burnout, it'll pull you closer to your authentic, direction and your authentic self, and living your best life also. So that's really it. So know your why. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from my living room in Northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.